Good morning, my co-pilots. So today is going to be an interesting day. First, we're going to mail off some JDM goods to a JDM space. And then after that, we're going to run over to the shop to see if any of my parts from Black Friday came in, because I'm getting review emails from one of the places that I ordered the suspension arms from for the R34. So we're going to go see if they're there. The brake kit I don't think is there yet, because I just got the tracking number on what, the 18th or 19th, whatever day that was. Today's the 23rd, so I highly doubt it came all the way from wherever it came from to Japan in that short amount of time, even though packages have been coming here within a week span, so that's extremely quick as compared to what it was before COVID. I'm guessing there's not as many packages coming from outside the country as there were before this whole COVID thing started, so that helps. But anyways, we're going to get to that, and I will update you guys in a few minutes. Alright, so we got that taken care of. We sent off those packages, and now we are on the way to the shop. Alright, we're almost to the shop. We're actually going to stop and get gas since we're up here, because we're almost out. And I got to fill this car up before I give it back at 6 o'clock. So it's a lot easier to just fill up here and then top off once we get back to my hometown. I actually love the gas stations here, because back in the States, I'm so lazy. I hate stopping and getting gas. I hate getting out. I hate doing it. I just don't like doing it. But here, I can be completely lazy, sit here in the comforts of my own vehicle and chill, and they'll pump it for you. They'll even take your trash for you. It's so nice. This is a language that you got to be very, very careful in, because if you mess up one tiny little pronunciation, it could throw the whole entire sentence off. Back when I was learning my numbers, I was trying to fill up when I was in Okinawa, and I told the dude Hachi Sen Yen instead of Ha Sen Yen, and he had no idea what I was talking about. That's about 80 bucks. He had no idea. So you gotta, if you come here to live, you gotta be very, very careful when learning the language and make sure that you pronounce things correctly and you don't make any tiny little mistakes, because you will not get by. All right, let's open this box. Alright, these are the small 6-piston calipers for the R34. Hopefully these work fine. This is a lot more yellow than I was expecting. I was thinking this was gonna color match this, but that's okay. We'll see how they work. The yellow will work good with the Verde Draco on the outside, so that's okay. Oh, sweet. You guys excuse the music, it's just on. We got steel brake lines, so we're definitely not going to kill ourselves on the rubber hoses. They're actually pretty nice. You guys, look at the difference. That's the tiny little brake caliper on there now, a little 2-piston. This is the GTV, which means it comes with the bigger brakes, or bigger brakes is an option, but look at this. Their caliper takes up nearly the entire wheel. Some of you might be wondering, why are you doing the brake setup first with the control arms and the suspension bits when the car isn't even capable of running on the track? And there's a perfectly logical explanation for that. The reason is because I want to do this build completely different than what I did the Supra build. Oh, dang, I really wish I would have documented that build. But when I first got that car, that's what I did. The typical American thing, just lusted after power, because the car was laughably slow. So I just jumped into power, didn't really know much about the suspension bits and how they change the characteristics of the car on a OEM coolant system, and that kind of showed a little bit on the track. My temps went up, but thankfully we went to the track in the winter time, so it really wasn't that big of a problem. But had I went in the summertime, it would have been a huge problem. Frustrated with my braking on different laps and not being able to keep up with the competition, and just being out there and learning the capabilities of the car and the basics is going to help me with the build of this car, because A lot of people who go to the track say brakes is how you get faster, and I 100% agree. So we're going to do it the opposite way and make sure that my setup is exactly the way that I want it to be before we move on to the power portion, because that's inevitable. The power is going to come. It's going to have a 500 horsepower 1J. It's going to be completely capable. So we want to make sure that the setup is exactly where I want it to be before we move on to... Look what we got here, guys. So this is the 1J that we're going with for the R34. Not this specific one exactly, because there's a lot of them in here, but this is a similar one, VVTi. A lot of people think that all 1Js are twin turbo. They're not. The VVTi one has just this little guy right here. The non-VVT has twin turbo. Just a quick update on the Supra. I did in fact talk to Danny, and we're gonna try to get her back on the road by February at the latest. It's the holidays right now and these guys need a break, so hopefully we can get her back on the road just in time for the track season in spring, if we're even gonna have a track season this year with the whole COVID thing. But I'm hoping to get her back on the road by then. I just spoke to Ugo as well, and we're gonna get rid of the red calipers because it's not gonna look right with the orange body. It's just gonna clash. Also, I am thinking, guys, about changing these wheels and changing the spoiler. I spoke to Ugo briefly about it, but I think I'm gonna go with the 57 CR Gram lights and maybe a Fuji M-Spec GT wing, because this car is part of me, part of my personality. I have many fond memories in this car, with a lot of sentimental value to me, especially growing up and always wanting one of these, and my mother having the 80s Ceika. Actually, she had two of them, 280 Ceika, and working as an accountant back in the 90s and me seeing these cars new in the Toyota showroom. So this car it just fits my personality perfectly. And with my life here changing and this being another attempt to start life here in Japan fresh, and me being a new person than what I was 2 and 3 years ago, I think it's time for the car to have a dramatic change too, as well, besides the paint. So I think we might end up doing that. I'll keep you guys updated. The Cyclican GC8. And there's where we're going. We're going to 7-Eleven to pay this bill real quick, and then we're gonna head home. Alright guys, we had to stop at 7-Eleven because for some reason they billed the shop directly for my taxes on the package for the suspension arm set that I ordered from GK Tech. So when it came into the country, I had to pay taxes on it. It's about 10% of the cost, and we had to take care of that so it can be released and delivered to the shop so we can get it on the car. So now that we're all cleared, we are all good to go. That's the good thing about Japan, is when you have a house or an apartment too, they'll send a bill directly to your house and you bring it here to the convenience store. It looks kind of like this, except for it has your personal information and address on it, and you go in there and they scan a little barcode and then you pay it. You can only pay it in cash though. You can't pay with credit card or debit card or none of that stuff. And then they give you the receipt like this to prove that you paid it, and then you're all good to go. Guys, for real, I need to stop turning off this camera because every time I turn off the camera something weird happens. So I'm walking, just chilling, and out of nowhere I start hearing all this music. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? And this dude comes from around the corner singing at the top of his lungs, high pitched, and it's so loud it's echoing off these buildings. This African Egyptian music. Just plain as day, just walking randomly singing this weird music. It was so weird, and he looked right at me and I looked at him, and he went around the corner and he started singing again. We always encounter the weirdest stuff here. Guys, so we're back at the headquarters, and I apologize, one of my dogs is playing with her toy. So if you hear her growling, that's what it is. But we're back at the headquarters now. We got everything done that we need to accomplish today. We got the goods sent out to the JDM space. We went and checked on the parts that came in for the brakes. We paid our taxes so we can get our arms. We are all caught up and good to go. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. Give this video a like if you like this kind of content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, sane, and healthy.